There's a new gangster in town. With Callahan in the hospital and Milo dead, Kingstown's power vacuum was filled by a new crook. Frank Moses was initially presented to us in the first episode. Although we still don't know much about him, we do know that he is vicious and brutal. He made sure that Mike and his friends, cops and criminals alike, noticed his arrival by making a big entrance into the game. Moses' men put a group of criminals on the railroad tracks in the first scene, where a passing train severed their skulls. He was later summoned to the crime scene by Ian and Stevie so he could use his contacts to learn more about this enigmatic criminal. These individuals appeared to be members of the Russian gang based on the tattoos on their bodies, and someone was tidying up Konstantin's mess. Bunny was just as ignorant as everyone else when Mike asked him whether he knew anything about the horrific murder. Not even the Aryan gang members knew who this individual was. Moses must be employed by the Spanish mob, and as Mike mentioned, he will eventually pursue Bunny as well. These decapitated corpses are just the beginning of Kingstown streets becoming a battlefield once more. Kyle takes the fall. Chester, Mike's attorney, used his magic wand to reduce Kyle's 20-year prison term for shooting a fellow officer while on duty to just 2 years. He promised Mike that his younger brother would behave well and be gone in 6 months. However, Mike was troubled by something else. In front of the other prisoners, he did not want Kyle to enter the prison. They wouldn't mind taking revenge on a police officer who had imprisoned them if they discovered that Kyle was being transported to Kingstown Penitentiary. You see, killing Kyle wouldn't affect any of them because some of them were serving life sentences. Mike went to see Nina Hobbs, the new warden, in an attempt to persuade her to take care of his younger brother, but Nina declined to give Kyle any special treatment. Regardless of his history, she saw him as a criminal who had broken the law. Mike knew that everyone needed the mayor of Kingstown at some point, so all he could do was smirk when she told him directly that she wouldn't need his assistance to run her own castle. However, Mike didn't want to be impolite, so he respectfully asked Nina to place Carney in Ad Seg, administrative segregation, where Kyle was supposed to be placed. However, Nina also denied that request. Mike realized that Nina was new to the position and that it would be hard to persuade her until she had seen the mayhem for herself. Despite her impressive record, she hasn't witnessed Kingstown's rapid transformation from serenity to flame. Later, Mike asked Carney to organize something for Kyle, but he was also powerless. In other words, everyone essentially declined to assist Kyle, and all of this suggests that something terrible is about to happen to him. Additionally, Nina confronted Kevin Jackson, attacked Kyle. The new characters in town, who will undoubtedly make Mike McCluskey's life a living nightmare, are introduced quickly in the opening episode of Mayor of Kingstown Season 4. Or should I say, will attempt to, similar to his erstwhile enemies, Russian mobster Milo Sunter and former Aryan gang leader Merle Callahan. However, I would like to remind everyone of what transpired at the conclusion of the previous season before delving into the events of the most recent episode. I'll make it short, so don't worry. Mike killed Milo in retaliation for the passing of his mother. Iris was haunted, but Mike had persuaded his friend Ian to put her on a bus so she could leave Kingstown. By her own demons. Iris was unable to cope with the remorse of killing Konstantin because Milo had coerced her into doing it. She overdosed on the bus and instantly passed away. However, Ian intends to keep Mike in the dark about her passing. Speaking of Callahan, Bunny had dispatched men to murder him. Sadly, he managed to survive the assault and was taken to the hospital. In the meantime, Kareem Moore, the temporary warden, chose to give his life while on duty in order to qualify his family for a pension because he was caught in a personal and professional disaster. He unlocked the gates and entered the yard, where he was fatally stabbed by Aryan gang members. In the first episode, Nina Hobbs, our new warden, has made it quite evident that she will not be managing affairs in the same manner as her predecessor. Last but not least, Robert Sawyer, a fellow SWAT member, was about to shoot an innocent citizen on the 6th Street Bridge when Mike's younger brother, Kyle, opened fire on him. Since Robert is essentially a loose cannon, Kyle didn't do anything wrong, but he was also unable to speak the truth because Robert was aware of all of their secrets, including Mike's. He had stated unequivocally that he would take everyone with him when he went down. Therefore, to keep Mike safe, Ian, with other cops, Kyle took the blame and is currently serving a 2-year term at Anchor Bay. Will he be able to survive within those prison walls? It seems that Kyle was no longer interested in residing in this unfortunate city. It was the same city where her mother was shot and died, as well as where her brother was killed. Furthermore, everyone knew that Robert would not go down quietly, which is why Kyle was unable to testify against him. Partners in crime, Mike, Ian, Stevie, Robert, and Carney had been breaking the law to uphold law and order in Kingstown, and Robert would take everyone else with him if he was arrested. Robert was fully aware of Ian's involvement in the death of Morrissey, a witness who was scheduled to testify against him. To cut a long tale short, Kyle was unable to speak. He had to keep quiet and accept responsibility for his brother and his buddies if he wished to keep them safe.